Everybody, in this video, we're going to talk about the number one reason why you can't manifest more money. This is something, I thought about this, but this is something that I fell into the trap, and I fall into the trap many times doing myself. And it's very easy to fall into this trap. And this is the top reason why you can't manifest more money in your life, because you're doing this bad habit that I'm doing as well. And like I said, it's so easy to fall into. So let's get into this. What's this number one reason? What am I really doing I want more money. I want more money in my life, no matter what that amount is. But this bad habit is causing me not to. So what happens is when we want more money, we set a goal. And for me, I tend to set big goals, okay? And I might set a goal that I'm a multimillionaire or I'm a millionaire. So it's $1 million a year or $100,000 a month. No matter how you want to break this down, but you're a millionaire. Okay, so I'm setting a big goal. So you might be doing the same thing. So it's not, right now, it's not the size of your goal. Okay, it has nothing to do with the size of your goal. So if you have big goals, big dreams, that's great. That's great news. I mean, good for you, because I do the same thing. Okay, so it has nothing to do with the size of your goal. It has nothing to do with how much money you want. It has nothing to do with, I'm asking for too much, okay? That's why it's not coming to me. It has nothing to do with that. That's what I want you to get right here. It has nothing to do with that. So let me clarify. Whatever that number is, if I want to be a millionaire, okay, that's my goal. That's my money goal. Okay, that's what I focus on. If you follow Neville Goddard, that's your intention. That's what you focus on. That's what you live in the end. That's what you act as if that you already have that amount of money. Okay, for you, it might not be a millionaire. For you, it could be $100,000 a year. It could be $200,000 a year. It could be $500,000 a year. You know what I mean? Maybe you make $50,000 right now per year, and you want to make $100,000. So that's a big goal for you. Is you want to make $100,000 a year. Okay, so no matter what it is, that's a big goal for you. That's what you want. That would transform your life, transform your lifestyle, your dreams, or your family. This is the issue that we're doing. Is usually what happens to me is, if I want $1 million a year, I'm doing the manifesting techniques, maybe I'm following Neville Goddard, whatever I'm doing. I do it for a couple weeks, I do it for a few weeks, maybe I'm really good at it, I do it for a month, maybe I hang in there for a couple months, focusing my attention on this $1 million a year. But it's not coming, it's not happening. The bad habit that we're doing, the number one habit I want to share with you is what we're doing is we drop our goal. So what I mean by that is we lower our goal. Instead of staying focused on $1 million a year, I start controlling the how too much, then I drop it to $500,000 a year. So I drop it to $500,000 a year. Now I change my intention. Now I start focusing on $500,000 a year. I do the same thing. I do the same vicious cycle. It's kind of the same bad cycle that I'm on. For a few weeks, maybe a month, maybe a couple months, I focus on $500,000. That don't come. So then I think, I start controlling the how too much. My gut starts thinking, oh, that's too much. So then I lower my standard again, and I say, well, I'll go down to $200,000. Then the vicious cycle happens again. I stay at $200,000, and then I go through the same cycle, I hang in there for a couple weeks, a few weeks, or a month. It's not happening, not occurring. I don't see anything in my life. I don't see how it's going to come to me. So then I lower my standard again. I go from $200,000, I'll lower it to $100,000. Now at this time, what happens is I lower it to $100,000. It ends up coming true, okay? The reason why it ends up coming true is because I lower my standard so low where I can control the how. Okay, and I'll give you an example. Let's say I lower it to $100,000 a year. I'm not saying a month, a year. If I lower it to $100,000 a year, at this point, I might truly believe I can get $100,000 a year, because I can think, well, if I go out and get a job, they're paying me $100,000. Or at best, if I go get 2 jobs, I'm going to make $100,000. Okay, or my full-time job, and I even just take a part-time job, that's going to give me $100,000 a year. So now I've controlled the how. I figured it out in my mind because I controlled the how, and I technically got what I wanted, but I lowered my standards so much that I ended up getting it because I controlled the how too much. This is what we actually do. Okay, we kind of get what we want because we lower our standards so much. I dropped it way down to 100,000 a year. But then what people do is they turn around and say, well, law of attraction don't work. These laws of abundance don't work. Law of assumption by Neville Goddard don't work. All these techniques that Neville Goddard teaches, it don't work. It's crap. Because I really wanted $1 million a year, but I didn't get it. You see what I'm doing? That's why I gave you this example. This is something I do and I have to be very careful not to do, is lowering your standards. Okay? Because that's what you do. Those are the tricks you play with your mind. You drop your standards so low, you drop it so low to something that you know that you can achieve, you know that you can get, no matter if you get 2 jobs, 3 jobs, you have a full-time job, you get a part-time job, but you know you can pull it off, even if you're exhausting yourself. But what you'll do is you kind of play devil's advocate and you're turn around and say, well, I really wanted $1 million a year. I really wanted to be a millionaire, but it didn't work for me. And that's what I want to chat with you a little bit about. The reason why it didn't work is because you lowered your standard. You didn't stay in your intention. Remember, if you follow Neville Goddard, okay, I love what Neville Goddard said about this, is the reason why you don't get what you want is because you didn't persist in the assumption long enough. Now, he uses fancy words sometimes, he uses old English sometimes, but you have to persist in your assumption until it becomes a reality in real life. Okay, the reason why the techniques didn't work for you is because you didn't hang in there. You didn't do it long enough. You didn't persist in your assumption. So that's the whole reason why you're not attracting money. This is the whole reason why, or the number one reason why you cannot attract money, because you're falling into this vicious cycle where you set a big money goal and after a couple weeks you don't get it, after a month, after 2 months you don't get it. You lower your standard to a lower money goal, and you keep on lowering your standard until it's something that you truly believe you can get from controlling the how. And so you end up getting that lower standard, but you really don't get what you really wanted in the first place, which is that big goal, that big money goal. Maybe it's a millionaire, maybe it's $500,000 a year, maybe it's a couple 100,000 a year, but you didn't get that big goal. The reason why you didn't get it, and I want to be clarified with you, you have to walk away with this, is if you do this, you have to stop, okay? This is something I had to do myself. I started catching myself in this goal because I would persist in my assumption, I would persist in being a millionaire, but then when it doesn't happen on my timetable, okay, is I start lowering my standard. The bottom line, even for myself, the reason why it's not working is because I didn't persist in that assumption. I didn't persist long enough. What Neville Goddard has said, what Neville Goddard has stated is that you will always, listen to this, you always get what you want, okay? The law of assumption never fails. Okay, your intention that you want, when you go inside your imagination, you live in the end, it never fails. Now, this is Neville Goddard's words, is that he's never seen it fail. The only way it fails if you stop persisting in your assumption, or you change your mind. Okay, the only reason you're not getting your huge money attention is because one is you changed your mind too quickly, you dropped your goal. The second thing is you haven't influenced your subconscious mind yet, okay? Remember, okay, once you influence your subconscious mind, this is good news. Once you influence your subconscious mind properly, you only need to do this one time, but once you influence your subconscious mind, it has to come to you. Once you influence it, your subconscious mind is very illogical. It's not a comedian, it doesn't take jokes. It will give you exactly what you want once you truly believe it. Once you really impress it upon your subconscious mind, it will give you exactly what you want. And it will come to you rather fast, and it will come to you very illogical, meaning that without controlling the how. When we control the how, I'm looking where it's coming from. I'm looking at the how. How can I make $1 million a year? And once my mind can't figure it out, because it's way beyond trying to figure it out in real life, then that's when you start lowering your standards, and you lower it so much where you end up saying, well, if I get 2 jobs, I can make this amount of money. Okay, when you want a big money goal, I can't say if I get 2 jobs, I'm gonna make $1 million a year. It's not gonna happen, okay? So controlling the how isn't gonna work. The only thing that works is you have to persist in your assumption. Now, what's the incubation period? Okay, what I mean by that, how long does it take? And lots of times we want to know, how long does it take, Chad? How long You know, if I want $1 million a year, $500,000 a year, $200,000 a year, I want to make $100,000 a month, $50K a month, $25,000 a month. How long does it take? No, we don't know the incubation period, because everything has an incubation period. And it's also going to depend upon how good you are at influencing your subconscious mind, how good you are at really going into your imagination and really feeling that feeling state and acting as if and living in it as it's actually yours. Once you can do this properly, and like I said, you influence your subconscious mind one time, it doesn't matter if you don't want it anymore, it has to come to you. Now, the third thing here, really quick, I want to share is the best time to influence your subconscious mind is actually having a bedtime routine. And I don't mean, I'm going to keep it simple here. I don't mean you having this great big 1 hour bedtime routine. I don't mean that. Okay, I just mean, what are you thinking about 5 or 10 minutes before you go to bed? Okay, if you go to bed 10 minutes before you actually go to sleep, then that gives you time to go inside your imagination. That gives you time to get in that feeling state of the amount of money you really want. You act as if you already have that money inside your imagination, and you try your best to fall asleep at that state. Okay, now in the beginning, you're going to get frustrated. You're not going to do it the right way. It's going to be hard for you to produce that feeling state, because the reason why it's hard is because you don't believe it yet. You don't believe that you deserve a millionaire lifestyle. You don't believe the amount of money that you want can actually be yours. So in the beginning, you're going to struggle. This is what Neville Goddard means, persist in your assumption. If you persist in your assumption, it's always going to come to you. But we just don't know that incubation period. We don't know that time span yet. But we can speed up that time span is once you really do this the right way, once you really get good at it. That's why you have to persist at it. And you persist at it every single night, or every time you even take a nap, you go inside your imagination, you see yourself having the lifestyle, having the income that you want, and you fall asleep in that state. Because if you persist at it, no matter if it takes you a month, 3 months, 6 months, no matter if it takes you a year, once you fall asleep in that state, and you fall asleep in that state the best way you possibly can, it's going to come to you. And it's going to come to you very illogical. Okay, no matter if you won the lottery, no matter you get this quick promotion, no matter if you're an entrepreneur and finally your product just went viral, no matter if you're on YouTube and maybe your YouTube channel went viral and it basically changed your life overnight as far as income. No matter, but you have to persist in your assumption. The bottom line here is once you set a money goal, stick with it. Okay, you don't change your mind. You want to become a millionaire, you don't change your mind. You stick with it until it comes true. You want $200,000 a year, you stick with it. You persist in that assumption until it becomes true, until it becomes fact in your life. Stop changing your mind. Once you make a decision of what you want, you stick with that decision until it's a reality in your life. That's a simple process to this. You're changing your mind too much. Okay, like for myself, I'm changing mine too much. Once I don't see it happening quick enough, I change my mind, I lower my standard. That's exactly what you're doing in your life. You're lowering your standards. You're lowering it so low until you can figure out how to do it. The bottom line with law of assumption, law of attraction, laws of abundance is the how isn't your thing to worry about. Okay, once you start worrying about the how it's going to happen, you're going to limit what you can attract into your life. Once you can properly just let go of the how, and you just focused on what you want, just focus on what you want. Focus on that $1 million lifestyle. Focus on that $200,000 a year. That's what you want. Go straight to the end. That's what you want. You focus on that. That's all your responsibility. You focus on it. Don't worry about the how. Don't worry about how it's going to come. Just focus on it. And once you influence your subconscious mind, it will come to you 100%. It has to. It has to by law. Okay, it has to by all the universal laws. It has to come to you into your reality. Other than that, my friends, hopefully this helped. Leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts, your positive, your struggles, what's working for you, what's not working for you. If you have questions, leave it down below, and I will see you in the next video.